Today, I'm going to be talking about textures in your tattoos, how you can elevate your tattoos with mastering multiple different techniques and textures. Today, I'm going to be breaking down 3 different textures in this tattoo. I'm going to be breaking down the metallic texture, the cloak texture, and the rock texture. The reason why I want to break this down is I don't want to make this tattoo look flat. So I think it's super important to understand how these textures all balance with each other throughout this tattoo. If this is something that you think that you can benefit from, watch the whole video and let's get started. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show him the design that we have. I think you're gonna love it. I love it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's fucking lit, man.
You asked for the ferryman. I drew the ferryman.
I'm not saying it for the camera. Like the first 2 tattoos when I got it, I just sent her like a little photo. This is kind of what I want to do. I don't really care how you interpret it because I trust you. And each time I've come out, 0 worries. So I wasn't worried about coming down here, not seeing the tattoo before.
I want to show what he sent, the trust that he had. Nothing is wrong with this design, but obviously, you know, we wanted to make sure that it went with the rest of his sleeve. And now here is what I came up with. So, of course, reference photos are important, but having trust in your artist, like how he has with me, that's the most important part. So we'll go ahead, we'll do that on the outside, right here. You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Cool, awesome. I have the stencil already made. I'm already set up. Let's get started.
Hey guys, my name's Tanner. What I'm getting today is I'm gonna finish the half sleeve I got when I first met Chris in 2021. Found Chris on Instagram, scrolling through, you know, just being a college student. I wanted to get a tattoo. I really liked her work. I really liked the uniqueness of it all. She's got a certain flow, and now I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully finish it, you know, within the next 2 days.
The stencil is on there. I'm gonna be working this tattoo in sections. So I'm gonna be doing the ferryman by itself. I'm gonna be doing the coins by itself, and so on and so forth. The reason why I'm going to be doing this is because we are doing this in one session. So I want to make sure that one, I'm not lacking on my detail. And since we're going to be working on multiple different textures, we have the cliff, the background, that's one texture. We have this cloak. We have a light source coming from here and from over here. And then we have this metallic texture. I know that I've talked previously about how to really get this metallic kind of look. This video specifically, I want to focus on how to make these coins look like coins, and that's going to be a lot of use of light and dark. So my darkest darks and my brightest lights, which is going to be a lot of white to kind of really pump throughout the metallic look to make it look like it's shining. So that's going to be really important because obviously without that, it's going to fall flat. It's not going to look like coins, and it's going to miss the entire mark of this tattoo.
Oh yeah, this is sick.
How you feeling about it, man?
No, it's dope, man. It's dope. I like how it's like curving into my arm too. Cool.
As always, I'm going to be using my WJX needles here. I have a 3-round liner, got a 7-round liner, a 18-round liner. I'm going to use this for getting into the small little tight areas to pack the black. And then I have a 9 curve mag bug pin and a 15 curve mag bug pin. I love these needles. These needles have always been really good for me, so I'm going to use them and stay consistent with them. Today I'm going to be using my Allegory Ultra Black. This black is great. It's really dark, it does well with the skin. And then today I'm also going to be using my Empire whitewash set. I have medium light and extra light that I'm going to pour, and then I'm going to utilize both the Allegory and my whitewash set to make this tattoo have a lot of different textures going on. The thing about the whitewash is to keep a consistency, you definitely want to shake it really good because you can see at the bottom how it settles all at the bottom. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's super important to shake all the way through. Really with any ink, you should definitely take the time to shake your bottles. This is kind of what I was talking about. Can you see that? Super important to shake your bottles all the way through for that consistency. Again, I don't use a dark tone. I stopped using dark tones 7 years ago. Reason why is I don't want to rely too much on dark and not focus on my blacks. I want my blacks to be the darkest that they could possibly be. And then if I have to make some transitional points between my values, I will just utilize my black and my medium tones and layer on top of each other. So I talk about this a lot, how important it is to use values. So that's why I took out dark completely in my setup. Haven't used dark in a very long time, and it's been just fine. So if you use dark, that's fine. If it works for you, that's okay. But you can alter your setup the way that it makes sense for you. Now we have a nice, consistent setup. All the inks look great, and let's get started. Doing a tattoo like this in a one-day session is not just about technical skill, it's about your mindset. When you first sit down and tackle something like this detailed and this large scale, you have to pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The first thing that I do is break things into focal points. I do this so that way I'm not tattooing endlessly. I'm reminding myself to move with attention and hitting milestones throughout the day. For my focal points, I'm going to determine what is a focal point. So for example, this is going to be the coins and the ferryman. When I start a realism piece like this, my first step is to determine what these are. If I dive right into my background before approaching my focal points, I'll end up losing the balance of this tattoo, making this process much harder. Think of it as opposite as you would do a scenery in a painting. For example, it's recommended to start with the background and work your way forward to make sure that you refine those details as you move forward in your painting. In this case, I like to make sure that I get my focal points taken care of and spend most of my time there, but moving efficiently to make sure that I can see the progress as I finish each section. One of my biggest challenges in a piece like this when it comes to textures is making sure that they all coexist with each other. For example, looking at the difference between the coins and the cloak. If I shaded them the same way that I shaded the rest of the tattoo, they would all blend together and the whole tattoo would feel flat. Metal has to read differently than fabric, and the fabric has to read differently than the background. For the coins, I'm chasing the metallic bold shine. I want sharp edges, crisp highlights, and clean contrast. The metal needs to feel like it's reflective, so I keep the light transitions quick and intentional, making sure the eye draws attention to this area, creating the illusion and tricking the mind that this is metal. For the cloak, it is the exact opposite of metal. We have to keep in mind that this is fabric, which means that it folds and has softer edges compared to the rest of the textures. To make this feel real, I layered smoother gradients in my midtones so I can build depth with subtle transition instead of sharp highlights. For the cliffs in this piece, it's all about balance. I want the intention of this part to feel like it is much further behind the ferryman. I wanted the cliff to feel like it was stone, that it was rough and broken, but I wanted to make sure that it doesn't overpower the ferryman. If I put some level of detail into the background than I did the foreground of the tattoo, it would all fight against itself, ultimately leaving my tattoo to look flat. So for this part, I used different techniques like stipple shading. I used irregular texture patterns to create the illusion of a rocky surface. I also kept in mind that with balance, I needed to make sure that my values were softer than my focal point. I did this and kept this in mind so I can make sure that the cliff stays in the background. My advice, not every element or section of a tattoo needs maximum detail. The idea of the background is to support the design, not to compete with it. If everything is detailed, nothing is detailed. If this is your first time approaching a tattoo this large scale that has multiple different textures, my advice is to don't get overwhelmed by the large scale of the details. Break it down into steps, trust your techniques, use your skills and values, and focus on each section at a time. By the end of the day, when you completed your tattoo, everything will connect and it will complete the design. Yeah, you have a really good skin tone for that gray wash, whitewash.
Because I went golfing this week.
Yeah, no, I'm really ecstatic with how that turned out. Yeah, looking back at it from this perspective, I'm really happy and satisfied the way that I approached it. Starting from the ferryman working down and then up, really all over the place, but I think that it was the most efficient way that I could have done this tattoo. It definitely was really cool to see it all come together, make it flow. I'm really excited to continue on and add on to this piece and, work into the background. I think it's gonna be like super sick, but ultimately I'm super happy with how this turned out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know if these techniques helped you, if you guys feel like that you got something from learning more textures about how to help your black and gray tattoos. All right, peace out.
Hey, there you go.